only before this committee, but many other committees of this House. But Chair, in the course of last year, we had a huge setback as a county where we had a human resource audit whose outcome ended up leading to revocation of appointment letters for quite a number of our staff, including a lot of the staff within the finance department. We are in the process of dealing with, the recommendations and the outcome of that audit process. That really significantly affected the human resource team that we have within the county, and that has really.
So do you have a name? I want a name.
The name, of course, the CEC in charge of finance is
who is that?
Team, Alfred seated here.
Alfred, the auditor is saying you don't cooperate, non-provision of documents, no timeliness in provision of documents. What is your story? Were you affected by the HR audit?
Thank you. Through the Chair, I wish to mention that, as the auditor said, is that we've really had good engagement, especially in the last 2 weeks or so, in terms of getting the documents. When the process of HR happened, most of the people who were involved in archiving and producing the documents were not around. So I've had to get a new team under the supply chain management to really work around the documents. So it is a one-off problem that as soon as we're able to resource the department, we shouldn't have this problem, and we put measures in place to ensure that.
So when are you resolving? Because you are late again, even for this chair.
Yeah, through the Chair is that we really even requested the County Public Service Board to expedite the staff specifically in charge of finance, so that then they can come and really help to sort with the backlog that we have. Thank you.
You're saying during the human resource audit, some files were cutted away by the people who are removed?
No, Chair. I'm saying the people who are involved in handling the files were affected in the process, in that they were given the letters of termination. So, but we've requested the board that they give priority, because they've been doing department by department. Through the guidance of the governor, we're actually in the process of interviewing
so
the finance.
Where is that request? I assume it is a request in writing.
To the board?
Where is it?
Well, the evidence is that actually interviews are ongoing for finance, which has taken precedence.
Where is the request?
We don't have that in writing, Chair.
You request the board through oral discussion?
Yes, we usually have engagement meetings, and the governor has been chairing, and he's given directions on prioritizing some of the.
If it is a meeting, it has minutes.
Minutes would be available. We should be able to retrieve those ones.
Yeah. Show us those minutes.
Chair, they may not be part of this file, but those are available within the county. We can provide within an agreed period.
So it's very unfortunate.
Chair, that's my last question.
Yes, please.
When was that? When were those termination letters issued to the affected staff under the audit?
Said last year.
That is. Oh yes, that happened last year. Should be September last year, Chair, and yes.
That's about 9 months ago.
That was during the time of audit.
Yes, the audits had just begun.
Okay.
That's very unfortunate, Governor. We came here, we're supposed to be in the counties, but we are here because of this meeting. Now I don't know even if we decided to continue, and the auditors have not looked at the documents. I don't know how we would proceed. But members, is it possible we just look at, maybe just have a test of maybe 1 or 2 issues, we see how we can proceed? Are there any resolved issues? So, Senator again?
Chair, I would have wished we proceed, but looking at the letter that was given to the governor, this document availability should have been 13 June. And listening very keenly to the OAG, he's saying this is one of difficult clients in that app. So my only concern is if they just interacted from Wednesday this week, and now previously before there was non-provision of documentation. Remember, we are in another cycle of new financial year. So my question is, if the OAG is not having headway in access of documentation, and access, then it will be very difficult because we'll be shooting in the dark. Because now, how can we proceed? Out of 49 issues, I think 2 and one is resolved, one is partially resolved. So it will be hard to make the headway because, Chair, looking at the audit report under review this year, the majority are human resource issues, which some of them the governor has not completed by saying that after the audit, the ESCC did fix the documentation, and then the aspect of development projects in Nandi County. So, Chair, looking at the letter that the committee sent, courtesy of you and the clerk of the Senate, there is clear violation of timeline that is provided on Friday, 13 June, and therefore it would be hard to proceed where the OAG also is blind. So it will be like a blind man leading another blind man. And my worry, Chair, if the entity will come back again, it will mean we might revisit the same issues because the OAG has said he has looked to it, but they are not accurate and not certain. So it means we might not be conclusively consider the progress report. So, Chair, and Governor, in conclusion, the fact that your CEC in charge of finance should be the one in charge of compilation of documentation and provision of documents, Chair, there is clear violation of Section 62 of Public Audit Act, because when documentation are needed, they must be provided for that provision. And Governor, so are you apologizing to the committee for this oversight, or you still insist that because of the challenges, because we had another entity called Kericho and they had similar challenges yesterday. So when Governor says the provision of documentation was given yesterday, so in his own opinion, what action is he likely to take against the officers who are supposed to provide for documentation? And clearly, Chair, Section 62 of the Public Audit Act has been violated. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator,
Chair, we know we have a tradition in this committee, not even a tradition. I think this committee is purely guided by the OAG. So when the OAG decides to say that he has not been able to go through the documents, he has not been able to go through the report, then as a committee we are handicapped. We might not be able to do much because the OAG is the prosecutor. So when the prosecutor comes and says that he doesn't have a file, he has not been able to look at the charge sheet and so forth, then I think we are restrained to proceed. And this is something that I am very sure my good friend Governor Sang is aware. He has been appearing before this committee before. Maybe save for those more issues, but of course I've captured the OAG also say that the client has been a bit difficult. I don't know for what reasons. I don't know for how long the CC has been this help. Finance, is it the first time to appear before you, or maybe the chair?
Myself, I've appeared in previously, but it is financially.
Or maybe it's a deliberate effort to make sure that we don't have to look. You know, you can also deliberately decide not to give documents on time so that we don't have time to look at those documents and then you run away.
Auditor, you wanted to input something?
Yes, Chairman, before the Director weighs in on the issue, please allow me to say that when we request that documents be available in time, it's for the simple reason that the client brings in copies of the records. We need time to go and verify from the primary records held at the entity whether the records given to us are really genuine, and they explain the issue at hand. So when you bring a document one day to the day of the meeting, we don't have that opportunity. Okay? We also need to do additional audit tests on the documents now provided. So when you bring a record one day to the meeting, we don't have that opportunity. We are denied that opportunity to do additional audit tests that we'll have done if the documents were available when you are on the ground doing the audit, or after you have submitted them. We have a few days to be able to go to the ground and perform those additional tests. So, Chairman, we are really constrained in being able to advise this committee. Thank you, Chairman.
Director.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, what we are supposed to discuss are 49 issues, and you'll find 2 issues have been satisfactorily responded to, 46 not responded, and 1 is partially. And if you look at the majority of the issues that have not been responded to, just to give as an example, would be for non-provision of documents. Now, non-provision of documents, even if we were supposed to discuss and the client has adduced those evidences, that is not the conclusion of the audit, because upon interrogation of this document, you would be led to another query that you would need to perform to get satisfied. So, Chair, probably would you allow me to go through the issues that didn't have document provided?
Just a minute before you do that, Senator Dulo, you want to say something?
Chair, it's good to hear from the governor what is the problem, because if the documents are not provided, we can't proceed because nothing has been done. So can you tell us what are the challenges that he's facing as far as production of the documents are concerned?
Yeah, before you do that, I know, Governor, you're a lawyer and you know these things, but just for the records, legal counsel, just read the section on provision of documents so that the governor can mitigate, because then we can prescribe very punitive recommendations. Do you think I can get it now? If we go that direction, Auditor, we'll be opening the audit here. And we don't want to be auditors. You are the professionals. You are trained to do so. There are also very many accountants in the county government. I don't think it would be proper to turn ourselves into auditors. So I think the issue that we'll just be doing now is to try and mitigate on the issue of non-provision of documents. Because then, okay, legal counsel?
Through the chair, section 62(1) of the Public Audit Act states that a person shall not be without justification failed to provide information required under this act. C, without justification failed to provide information within reasonable time that is required under this act. Section 62, subsection 2 states that a person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offence and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 5 million shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or to both.
So I think the catchword there, and you know, Governor, is without justification. So we want you to tell us what was justification. You tried it, but I don't think you convinced these members. Try again and convince our members why you didn't provide the documents in good time. Governor.
Chair, as I have indicated, the documents were provided on Thursday morning. That is definitely way after the deadline. I note with concern that particular delay. I have explained that we have had a very difficult situation as a county, courtesy of that human resource, process that was ongoing, that led to, exit of quite a huge team of our human resource, finance included. Ordinarily, and I have appeared before various committees of the Senate, that has never been an issue with regard to the county. This challenge is specific to this particular season when we have had this problem. We have made all the efforts to ensure that in terms of the human resource audit process that was done, and correcting that challenge of staff, the staff shortage, the Public Service Board is currently carrying out interviews for the staff, and we gave the request to the Public Service Board to give priority to the finance and the department because of the nature of the challenges that we have. So really, again, as my senator said, when I apologize, and of course I take full responsibility as the CEO of the county. As much as I sympathize with my department on the basis of the shortage of staff, but I take full responsibility, and I really, I really apologize that we are not able to do what needed to be done in good time. Again, for the auditors, I know the auditor has mentioned something related to the fact that the client or ourselves have not been very cooperative in terms of provision of documents. Again, the challenge is really the shortage of staff that we have had. But this is a matter they can confirm. In many other, in the previous audits, the CEC here, for the first 5 years of my term, he was the CEC in charge of finance. He was away for two years. Now he's back in the finance docket. And if you look at what we were able to do even previously at that time, we improved our, audit opinion, significantly. So there have been measures that we have put in place. This is a unique situation, and I want to request the committee to indulge us. But this is a matter that we have given priority, and we really apologize that the whole sitting of the Senate is here, or of the committee is here. We have not been able to do what we needed to do in good time.
Chair, I have a proposal that we give the auditor some time to go through these documents, and we meet here next week, because I think the people of Nandi deserve that conversation, Governor, and so that it doesn't appear that or like that you are trying to run away. We can agree that we give the auditors time, then we meet here next week. Chair, that is my proposal.
And without even getting anybody to second, I also have that feeling. Why I really wanted us to proceed was what you said last, that maybe the client does not want to appear here and account for the money. But given the challenges and the challenge that he has given us, and that apology rendered, I think apology is a parliamentary language which can be admitted in parliament for somebody to show some remorse that we can not continue, but that will only be for submission of documents. We'll look at it. But then everybody here believes that we can't proceed if the documents were rendered just yesterday. They have not been verified. How will you continue? They have not been tested. So, on the mic?
Yes. Maybe, Chair, it is sad that we can't proceed. And I agree with you that the people of Nandi want to know how their money that we fought the other day and we've been fighting is being used, especially on development agenda. It is sad that we cannot proceed. But the governor has noted that the CEC is not new in this department, despite the challenges of non-provision and violation of Section 62 of the Public Audit Act. So, Chair, but we can defer this matter, but I agree with Senator Sifuna that we reconvene as soon as practically possible on a meeting on notice. And then also, I don't know, Chair, maybe the auditor can tell us, because I've realized these are 49 issues. One has been solved, one has been partially resolved. How long will they need to go through it, Chair? And then finally, I have not heard the governor give a strong commitment on working closely with the OAG. Because if the OAG, OAG like using what I call love language. They don't want to call as it is. They are saying the client might be difficult to work with. But for us, we know the client is difficult to work with. So I needed a strong commitment by the governor that in instances of exit, entry, and management meeting, the availability of the CEO should be mandatory, so that we don't need to sit the whole day. So can the governor give an undertaking that in one of the meetings, because, and I don't know whether governor sees management letter, because in management letter through the chair, some of these issues are being raised. And one of the fairest process is the OAG process, where they even give you a second chance of the second bite to the cherry. So I think the governor should give us an undertaking that he will work and cooperate with the OAG, so that when OAG comes back to report to the committee, since he's the prosecutor, we shoot with military precision where we should, so that we don't need to go back. But Chair, as the area senator, I'm extremely disappointed that we could not proceed. I know today being on Friday, and the Minister of Enjoyment, Senator Sifuna, is here. He's appearing restless because today is Friday. But I want to thank him. I know he has had extra duties he should be performing elsewhere, also as the SG of the party. But Chair, we really wanted to proceed. But because I want the fairness and the truth to the people of Nandi, I agree we can defer and convene as early as July or next week, so that we can consider all these matters, and then we can move forward, Chair.
Thank you, Senator. Governor, you want to say something?
Chair, I give my commitment, and the director here can confirm. At the entry meeting, I participated personally, and even the exit meeting, I participated personally. I give the commitment to continue working closely with and cooperating and ensuring that the entire team works and cooperates with the Auditor General. So that is a commitment that I give, and Chair, I give that commitment, and we will work.
Thank you so much, members.
Chair, maybe just, I forgot something, sorry, indulgence, 30 seconds. Governor, you say you are doing interviews to fill and address the challenges of provision of human resource within various departments. How long? Because Chair, you might come back and say we are yet to have the necessary staff to support supply of documentation. So Governor, how long will the process take, and how many people are here? Thank you, Chair.
The governor said you're already employing. You want to add something on top of that?
But the interviews are ongoing. I can't have the figure of the number of staff offered, and even the schedule by the Public Service Board for the interview is out. I can't be able to give the exact figures, but the process to fill up the positions required is ongoing.
So just work on your team.
Yeah.
So, Chair, how sure are we by the time we come back? Just 1 second, because it is important for this process. So how sure are we by the time we come back, Governor, through the Chair, that you will have gotten enough human resource for the provision of our processes?
I think for us that is not our problem. We can even hire temporarily.
Just to clarify, the documents are already here. They are already with the auditor.
Yes.
All that it requires is for the auditor to go through those documents in the period that, then when we reconvene, that cannot be an excuse. The documents are already here. And Governor, when we come back and then we are told there is a document that you have not provided, that is when we will get upset. We reserve the right to get upset. Yes.
Yeah, so members, I think it's not tenable to continue. Everybody in the room agrees that you can't continue because the documents came late. They have not been looked into. You want to say something, Auditor, before?
Yes, yes, Chair. I really wanted to comment on something.
Yes.
Chair, I hope the evidence that has been put before us today is conclusive, in that it can facilitate our work as fast as possible. Chair, we are auditors. We are really against this issue of postponement because it has really created a lot of backlog in our office. Between 9th up to 20th, I'm required to prepare 120 briefs. Those are 120 financial audit reports. And that pile up of work is now handicapping us. We are not really able to move. Like when we received this yesterday, some of us did not even sleep. And then when we looked at whether it is a document that needed to be presented, I felt it fell short. And that's the reason why this postponement is necessary. So we are only asking you to, because the evidence is here already with us, we take the shortest time possible in that we can dispense with this, and therefore we can go to other matters, because even the new audit cycle has already started. Chair, my submission.
We really feel you, Director, and that's why we're saying we shall institute and recommend, put very punitive recommendations, if need be, during our report writing. I'm just hoping that the documents that are here will answer to the queries. And for your staff, please talk to them. How do you escalate 49 issues here, simply because of non-provision of documents? I think one time would recommend prosecution. Yeah, we'll have to do that, because then you're frustrating the auditors. You're also frustrating us as senators. Really. Let's make it neat. Let's make sure that we work hard. Give the documents in good time. If they're clean, you don't need to hide them. When you hide them, you have to know that there's something you're hiding from us. So, Secretariat, when is the earliest time that we can meet Nandi County?
Chair, is it possible we advise that on Monday?
We'll discuss it on Monday. Yes. So in our meeting on Monday, we can discuss the earliest time we can meet Nandi, so that now we look at the issues before the auditors go to the next cycle. Senator, you want to say something? That's okay. So the meeting is adjourned until Monday at 9:30.